What is the recruiting timeline to play college soccer based off of the level of the college, as well as the division of the college, as well as if you want a scholarship? On the college soccer, I hope we play college soccer. Let's get into that. I wrote it out here, and I'm going to break this down one by one in a second. D1, D2, D3. Now, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, do you want a scholarship? If you want a scholarship, you have to start in 8th grade. That's not because you won't get a scholarship if you start later, but you'll get more money the earlier you start. So the idea being, if you commit earlier, there's more money available, and it gives you more time to work on your academics, which there's also more academic money. So if you want a scholarship, there's no debate around it. I recommend starting the college soccer recruiting process in 8th grade. And if you're a girl and you're listening to this, this is like non-negotiable. If you're a boy and I say start in 8th grade and you start 8th grade, second half into 8th grade, that's okay. But girls really have to start at the beginning of 8th grade, and boys, you can have like a 6-month adjustment. So here is the order. If you want to play the best Division I schools, I'm talking the best, the Dukes, the Notre Dames, the Stanfords, you have to start in 8th grade. There's just no way around it. There are some students that will be the exception, but you're competing with international players. We had a student who just committed, Mr. Ethan, congratulations, to Duke. He was going to their ID camps. He had been to 7 of our Duke ID camps by the time he hit 10th grade. He was a very good soccer player, and him starting early is how he committed as a sophomore going into his junior year, and he's going to a top school. So you want to start in 8th grade if you want to go to the best Division I school. Now, let's say you want to go to a mid-tier D1 school. If you want to go to a mid-tier D1 school, I would say 9th or 10th grade. Now, this is all depending on if you're already playing at a high level of club soccer. So club soccer is kind of its own, it's part of the college soccer journey, but this is assuming you're already playing MLS Next or ECNL. If you're not playing MLS Next or ECNL, then you need to start in 8th grade, because then you need to work on getting to those teams. But if you're already playing at a high club level, then you can kind of think about the process in 9th and 10th grade. Start collecting video, creating your list, going to a few ID camps, emailing a few Division III schools. That's for mid-tier D1. If it's low-tier D1, it's the same. And here's the deal. If you're a top D1 school, UCLA, Notre Dame, Stanford, you're always going to be top, and good for you. If you're a mid-tier or low-tier D1, that changes every year. Like, I went to Valpo. That was a low-tier D1 school. But the year I went there, we were top 25, and, we won the conference, and I was Rookie of the Year, and we got 2 kids that got drafted. So, it varies every year. So mid-tier and low-tier D1s are pretty much the same level. Yes, the very best D1 schools, but we also know about a bunch of low-tier or mid-tier D1 schools that beat the big-tier D1 schools. So from that perspective, 9th, 10th grade, you got to start. Okay, now let's say you want to play Division II soccer. So Division II is a little bit different. It's a little bit different mainly because if you're playing Division II soccer, your grades are probably in the range of 3.1 to 3.6. So you're not thinking about the top academic schools unless you want to study engineering or some type of... If you want to go into pilot school, then there's really good D2 schools or engineering. But otherwise, those schools are slightly less on the academics. So you have a 3.1 to 3.6 GPA. And so in those regards, you can be playing NPL, E64, Elite Academy, and there's a much more likely chance. If you're playing MLS Next or ECNL, there's also a much more likely chance. And then it depends. If you want to go to the top D2 school, the top D2 schools are very heavy on the internationals, so are Division I's, but Division II's are really heavy on the internationals, really heavy on the transfers, and the players are a lot older typically than even some Division I programs. There are slightly different rules in the NCAA, you can go on trial at a D2 school, which kind of allows for this method. So I would say, if you want to play at a top-tier D2 school, you should start in 10th grade. If you want to go to a mid-tier, you could start in 11th, and you could start in 11th grade. This is the beginning of 11th grade, and for girls, you really have to start a year before because you guys get recruited so much more aggressively. So this is for boys. For girls, it would be a year before in each case. Same with these ones. Now, let's say you want to play D3 soccer at the top D3. Then you must also start in 8th grade. The reason you have to start in 8th grade is because the academics are so competitive. It's better than D2 schools. It's even better than mid-tier and low-tier D1 schools, both soccer-wise in some cases and certainly in the academics. So it's way more competitive. It's like going to Ivy League schools. So you have to start in 8th grade, and they're going to be done recruiting in August of your junior year typically. Now, if you want to go to a mid-tier or low-tier D3 school as a boy, you can start in 10th or 11th grade if it's a low-tier D3. If you're a girl, you still have to start in 9th, 10th grade no matter what, because you guys get recruited a year earlier in the cycle, because that's just how girls soccer works. If you want more help playing college soccer, give me a call. Links in the bio. Bye.